life.
Spare me. Join me. Wield me. Become absolute.
It pleads because it knows I'm its master. I will finish this.
The brain is on the cusp of its final thought, and it's taking all of the Emperor's strength to keep it there. An opportunity, perhaps. Nightmares and the screams of legions upon legions of unborn methods. The pain wipes through you, obliterating all thought, all feeling. Your tadpole burns in your brain. Silence. For the first time in a long time, your thoughts are entirely your own. And then, gravity. Everything you did, everything you sacrificed, it was worth it. For this.
It's done. The Netherbrain is defeated. Along with the grand design, Vlaakith be praised.
It's over. It's truly over.
My mind is clear. Its burden lifted. When the Netherbrain died, the tadpoles died with it. No offense meant, of course. I can never forget what you did for us, for the city.
It makes little difference to me. I did what I had to secure my freedom. And in spite of your resistance to completing your evolution, you have proved a good ally. I'm glad you think so. I did my best.
The Githyanki are leaving us. An unlikely place to find ourselves, fighting on the same side as them. Speaking of Githyanki, what will you do now, Lae'zel? Will you join them?
The Netherbrain is dead. To slay a Geich was my sworn duty. I must call out to Tunorath. My ascension's at hand. You are an honorable ally. I thought I would carry you. In truth, you oft carried me. I won't forget it. Silence now. I will speak the right. Vlaakith Barnasin. Vlaakith Ixaith. Vlaakith Tri-Nasaji.
You quiver in spite of yourself. Lae'zel shouts to the astral plane, seeking an answer. And before long, she has one.
A red dragon to carry me to Tunorath. The Queen's covenant is fulfilled.
You look on as Lae'zel soars to an uncertain fate. With the Githyanki gone, there's nothing left but the silence of the city, smoldering, waiting to be rebuilt. But it seems that Gale's mind is elsewhere.
Gale, are you brooding? Because I swear, if you ruin my good mood...
The crown. It's somewhere in the Giontha. If I salvage the stones, I can reforge it. And once I have, I'll return it to Mystra. She'll cure me of my affliction, and I'll finally be free. And a more deserving one this time around. If this adventure has taught me anything, is that there are things in this world far more valuable than power. Besides, growing quite fond of this merry band of ours, and I'd quite like to see what happens to it. I'm sure Mystra will summon me soon enough, but until then, I propose we celebrate our victory the mortal way, with a drink in our hands and reckless abandon in our hearts.
A nip, a dance, and a song. Don't mind if I do. I think we're due an evening's reprieve. What's our leader have to say?
let's not forget the wine. I want to flush out my brain just to be completely sure the tadpole's gone.
I will not be joining you. I fear my presence will be no more welcome in the streets of the city than it ever was.
You're right, of course. But, well, I'll miss you, friend. Your companionship has been quite the education.
I will miss you, too.
Now that you no longer live in each other's minds, it's hard to tell if the mind flayer is being sincere, though perhaps no harder than it ever was.
There are fallen to honor as well. So many that we may never learn all of their names. But that is no reason not to try.
It's over. And it's all because of you. You, who were destined to become a thrall. Thanks to you, there will be no illithid empire, no death god's tyranny. You have earned your place amongst the legends of the Sword Coast. You are the saviors of Baldur's Gate.
My shining star. Since I've known you, we've shed more blood than could ever fill the Cheon Tha. The wounds we sustained were the testament to our might. But last night, I swear to you, your touch healed every one of my bruises and wiped away every scar. I am a new man, and I've got you to thank for it. If only last night could have lasted forever. But if I'm to be a Grand Duke, I've got to greet the people and gain their trust. First, we mourn. We bow our heads for the fallen and honor them by pledging peace. Next, we heal the city. We restore our broken buildings stone by stone. We restore faith in each other, one good turn at a time. After that, well, it's up to us to decide. Any ideas? And a magnificent ball, I presume, for dancing the night away. You dressed to the nines, me in the finest uniform I can convince father to lend me. How could I ever refuse you? What a joy! This life we're about to make. This story we're about to write. Every chapter more thrilling than the last.
You detect the slightest hint of sorrow behind Will's words. His diabolical patron and the torturous fate that awaits him are never far from his mind.
I hope we never have to turn to the final page.
6 months have passed since the defeat of the Absolute, but Baldur's Gate is already recovering. Will has personally handled the rebuilding of the city and the recovery of its people. The scars run deep, but Baldur's Gate will wear them proudly. The city was the battleground for a fight that decided the fate of Faerun, and you and Will were on the front line. Now, matters of state take up much of Will's time, and he turns down more invitations to parties and balls than you ever thought possible. But one day, he comes to you with a sparkle in his eye, holding an invitation that neither of you could ever refuse. A gathering of the friends and allies who stood with you in that great battle. An invitation to return to where your adventures began.
Thou wert called here, some from above, some below. For with thine bond, together thou hast kept the wheel of fate spinning when it threatened to halt. Though thou wert drawn far apart in the months after the collapse of the Absolute, tonight fate renews thy bond once more. Thou shouldst take care to preserve it. It is a great weapon wielded in the hand of good. Go. Know one another once more.
I fear I am becoming accustomed to the taste of sun-fed plants.
Now there's a face I know well indeed. Now there's